On this episode, the truth about lies, and I apparently need therapy.
Thank you.
This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show. Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey and this is episode 123 of the Ask Jason Show. Joe added K's to the Ask Jason mug right here, where I don't know, he's trying to tell me to do something. That I will pour my coffee out. Okay, this works? Okay. A couple of K's. Now, he added two because I would say like two separate ways of responding to text messages with most people, especially Director Joe, to like just like affirmative or like 10-4, good buddy. Like I will write KK. Like, and I don't know why it's not just 1K. It feels like 1K is like dismissive. It's like K. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, bud. K. But KK is like, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. You wouldn't say that in real life. Like, you wouldn't be like, okay. Unless you were like, okay. Sure. Okay, bud. So I'll do KK. So he did that just for fun. Are you laughing at me over there? My absolutely incredible little girl. I'm sorry, you're a girl? My incredible little girl, Cordelia Grace Piercey, is with us today. She's reading in the background. She's a very good reader. She reads a lot. Of course, it's summer, so she's home a little bit, and it was cool until Dad was like going back to work. Now I'm going back to work. Like, she comes with me sometimes. So we went to go buy her a few new books yesterday. How many books did we get? We got three, and your Aunt Stacy sent you one, so there's 4 new ones, right? So we start reading one when we go to bed last night, and I read for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And then when she woke up, she's like, I finished the book. So she stayed up and finished the book. Do you know how late you were up? I don't know. But do you know what? Staying up late, like if you're doing it reading, that's way better than the things Director Joe stayed up late doing when he was a kid. For sure. Anyway, so KK is one of the ways that I will end a conversation to be like, okay, this is over, stop texting. Another way is I'll say cool beans. And I don't even remember where the reference comes from. It's from a movie or something. It's probably from Old School or something like that. It's like, you're my boy, Blue. And it's like, this cool beans probably belongs in somebody, if you know, say it. And one day, Director Joe was feeling particularly Director Joe-ish. I don't know what the word, that's the only way I could think to describe it. And he created a little image that now he likes to send every time I say cool beans. Do you want to show everybody what you created? Here it is. These beans are supposedly cool. They have sunglasses and they're smoking, which, by the way, is not cool. And it's not even like a cool special kind of smoke that makes you feel silly. It's just regular old dirty cancer stick smoke. Like, there's nothing cool about this. This is like 50s beans. This is like Ration Pack and the Marines beans from the 50s. He's got like his sleeves rolled up and there's a smack of pokes rolled up. I like saying smack of pokes. That's a good one, isn't it? Anyway, so those are two things that I say a lot, and that. What's the other one you do? Tanks. Oh, I'll say tanks. Yes, Tanks. And he'll send a picture of a tank, then wait a moment, and then send a picture of another tank. Because there has to be at least 2 in order for it to be tanks. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the life and times of... That didn't make a lot of sense. The glory that is Director Joe Dominic's. Which is kind of funny because he's super, super submissive. His dog mounts him constantly. He's really weird. That's not true. Actually, it might be true, but I don't know. Anyway, what are we doing here? I think this is what happens when like late night talk show hosts, they do their monologue to begin with, and they just like, they just go. So after my accident, I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently it happens to women too, after they give pregnancy. Can you help? You want to help? No? Not at all? Women don't give pregnancy, do they? They give birth after having been pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know how to talk.
I don't. My face isn't working right. Anyway, then your hair falls out because there's so many changes in your body and like the post-trauma and all the post-stress. So that happened to me. My hair was falling out, so I had to shave my head. Shout out to the lovely and talented Mickey who cuts my hair. What was the point of that? Where was I going?
You
Oh yeah, my hair was all falling out, so I shaved it, and now it's growing back. So I'm almost, I'm getting there. Plus, I had my favorite, like, classic old school denim jacket that I was wearing when I was on the bike, and I don't have that one anymore.
It got cut.
It got, yeah,
You just say that.
they cut, they had to cut it off of me because, like, this arm was sort of like hanging off or whatever. But I have replaced it with your classic Levi's denim coat. And then I found out, I didn't keep the receipt, but I found out that my insurance company would replace the clothing that I was wearing while I was on the bike. So, I don't know if anybody knew this about me, but I used to always wear Gucci and Dolce and Gabbana pants when I was, and t-shirts all of the time when I was on my bike. I actually had 4 pairs on and several pairs of underwear. So,
I don't think that's true.
no, that's not true at all. This is called a transition. So it leads into the content of the whole show. We're going to talk about people who tell the truth, people who don't tell the truth, why, and how that relates to buying and selling houses, and who you need to be honest with and who you can't be honest with. I think everybody will agree that lying is a bad thing. You shouldn't lie. Some people tell more lies than others. Everybody lets some stuff that's a little untrue slip out some of the time. Even if you're like myself and you've learned hard lessons about being dishonest at some point in time in your life, and you make it a point to always be honest. Honesty can't really fully exist without openness, because if you're honest and you're not open and you're not disclosing things, like Joe asked the question, what about like, what do you call? Omission of truth or something like that? A lie of omission. Okay. It's a passive lie. You're not actively being dishonest, but you're withholding information intentionally, and that's deceptive, which means you can't be fully honest and sincere if you're not also open. There's a couple of reasons why people don't tell the truth, and they're usually selfish. I mean, you might not, like, I might not want to tell Corey, that I'm planning a birthday party for her. I'm not. Your birthday is months away. This is an example.
I know.
I don't want you getting all, it's my birthday or any of that. So that's not the destructive, negative type of lying. Usually, people lie because there is a short-term gain to the lie. There might be a long-term loss. You might win short-term and lose long-term, but people don't have the ability to delay their gratification long enough to make the right decision. So they'll do the lie to capitalize immediately, and they're not worried about how badly it affects them in the long term. The other type of person has either learned the lesson or just intrinsically is the other way. There can often be a really, really negative, immediate downside to truth. Like, I don't know, you meet somebody new, okay? And you start dating them, and you can tell that they're really into you, but you're not necessarily as into them, and you have to be honest about that because it's better for everybody than to let them get deeper and deeper, and then it all kind of blows up in the end. That's unkind. It's really unkind to like drag somebody out like that. And
So don't do it.
exactly. So don't do it. So tell the truth, right? Even if the truth up front is uncomfortable, because in the long run, the truth is always going to be the winner. So I've always said that there are 2 people that you can't lie to. You cannot, because even for the people who want to capitalize on the short-term gain of being dishonest, whether it's about the house you're selling, whether it's about your relationship, whether it's about how you spend your time, whether it's about how much wine you drink, there's 2 people that you really cannot afford to ever be dishonest with. One, I've always said that, well, not always, I've said this for a really long time. However, I do reserve the right to change my mind, which is a increasingly recurring theme in my life, and I think everybody should adopt it as their own sort of personal mantra. You can't lie to yourself, because if you're the person that needs to captain your own entire life, if you're dishonest with yourself, then you can't make good decisions. It's just impossible, because you're not operating off of any kind of foundation that is solid at all if it's all made of untruths or half-truths. So you cannot lie to yourself. And the second person I've always said that you have to be honest with is your therapist. Why? Well, first of all, if you don't have one, you should probably Google around and find somebody. Even one of the apps, even one of the text things, or somebody you can video chat with. Therapy isn't about you being sick and diseased and needing treatment. It's more about preventative maintenance. So you don't lie to yourself and you don't lie to your therapist, because you can't get anywhere in life with that. Being somebody who has learned enough lessons in his life to realize that we all should reserve the right to change our minds when we get new information, I have added to my list of people that you can't lie to. You really can't lie to your real estate professional. So yes, I am thinking about this because I am a real estate professional, but more importantly, it's because I found myself in a situation not too long ago whereby a client, it's not that they were dishonest, because this is back to the lie of omission thing. I asked for a level of authority, which, by the way, is one of the ways that I'll negotiate. And this is why the honesty is so important. As a realtor, whether I'm buying or helping somebody sell, I have areas of expertise that are differentiating factors to use my service versus someone else. One of the things that a really solid negotiator needs is ammunition. Like all of the best ammunition, all of the most accurate, detailed information, because then I can assemble the argument the way that it needs to be assembled to accomplish whatever the task I am hired to accomplish is. Now, whether that's reaching a certain price point, whether it's negotiating the most convenient closing date, whether maybe it's a past, like the deal is sort of done and now we're doing a home inspection and there's some stuff and we got to negotiate around how to handle that. If I don't know the truth, and when I say I'm speaking of me as your real estate professional, right? So if it's me or if it's a million other people, it doesn't matter. If your agent doesn't know the reality of your situation and what you need to accomplish, how can you expect them to do a good job? Part of what makes a good negotiator is being able to structure the conversation with the other side and foresee what's going to happen. Like you're playing chess. Like this is some Queen's Gambit stuff. So like I'm looking at the ceiling and I'm taking my green pills. So you're planning moves ahead. But the moves you're planning ahead are only relevant if the first move you made is made in confidence. So I need to know that the first move is real. Because if the first move isn't real, everything behind it loses all power, all steam, and there's no validity to anything that I'm saying. And say we're trying to buy a house. He's like, my bank will not give me more than $284,000. That is the top that I can buy. We need to collaborate on our negotiating strategy to purchase something. If you tell me that that's your top, and that's the most we can end up at, that changes my strategy to put it together. If throughout that process you decide that you want to change your mind and suddenly you have more money to give, well, now we're in a situation where I'm forced to tell the other agent that I lied to them because I did. I mean, I didn't know that I did. I believed it to be true because I believe you and you told me. So don't lie to yourself. Get a therapist and then don't lie to them. And you don't have to disclose the deepest, darkest secrets of your life, but as things pertain to your real estate transaction, tell the truth to your realtor. If you don't have a realtor that you feel you could tell the truth to, well, now you got to go back and stop lying to yourself because that's not good enough for you. If you don't have a realtor you feel you could tell the truth to because you think that they're in it for them and not for you, you're like, well, I can't tell him that we would sell for $285 when I really want $300 because if I tell him $285, he'll just give it away. Like, you got the wrong person. That's just like right there. You've been lying to yourself. Don't lie to you. Don't lie to your therapist. Don't lie to your agent. And together, maybe you'll all be able to live a happy life full of KKs, cool beans, and tanks. And I think that's probably it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you. Or you can come sit in the chair and do the whole thing.
No.
No?
Sit here and watch you need therapy.
Yeah, and watch you need therapy. That was really funny. That was really funny.